Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, thank you for coming back. So I have a new palette today. I'm going to do 2 looks, 1 palette, and I'm so excited to have this palette. I had no idea that Alter Ego was coming out with 2 new palettes until they were already out, and so I'm so excited. If you haven't ever heard of Alter Ego, they do affordable, I don't like to call them dupes, but somewhat copies of Natasha Denona palettes. Their formula is very good. All the palettes that I've tried so far have been really, really good formulas. They are somewhat different from Natasha's, of course. They are laid out differently. The names are different. And some of the shades are a different shade of a color that's in her palette. But this one that I'm doing today is the Blooms palette. This is what the box looks like. It is very pretty. And it has 15 color pressed powder shadows. And this is what the palette itself looks like. It is gorgeous. And then when you open it up, it does have a mirror. And then this is the color story. And so this is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Love palette. And since Valentine's Day was right around the corner, I thought this would be a great time to use this palette. I do not own the Natasha Denona Love palette. I did just purchase the Mini Love that she just put out. And I'll have video on that as well coming up. But I do not own the original Love palette, so I will put a copy of a picture of that up here so you'll know what that looks like. But I'm thinking, judging by these colors this morning, the first look that I'm going to do is going to be a purple look, and then tomorrow the look that I will do will probably be in the red tones. So those are going to be the 2 looks for this palette. So let's go ahead and get started. So I am going to go in with a fluffy brush, and I'm going to use the new brushes from Do Color. If you seen my favorites video, you know that I'm really enjoying these brushes. If you didn't get to see that video, I will link that below if you're interested. So I've already primed my eyes and have my base down. So I'm going to go in with this pink shade, Peony. And these sometimes do have a little kick up in the pan. That doesn't bother me. I'm more curious on how they apply to the eyes. So I'm just going to run this in my crease and just start laying down base shades to blend this eye look into. I can't believe that we're already in February. It just blows my mind. I'm hoping that I can get this up before Valentine's Day, because I've got a lot of other videos planned and a couple that's already been filmed and ready to go. So if everything goes to plan, I will be able to get this up before Valentine's Day. Now I'm just going to do the same thing to this eye. Just building it up slowly. I'm using a really soft hand. Just want a light wash of color right here to blend the rest of the darker colors into. If you put a lighter color down first in your crease, so when you go into your darker colors, it makes it easier to blend those out. So you're just building a nice foundation for the rest of your eye look. So we've got that. And that went on really well. So I think I'm going to continue to use this same brush, and I'm going to go into this shade underneath Peony that's called Snapdragon. And I'm just going to pick a little bit of that up. not a whole lot, and start deepening that crease. This will give those purple shades just a little bit more dimension, having a little red base. And I love pairing pinky red tones with a purple. They just always come out so good. So as you can see, those shades are blending into one another very nicely. And while I'm going very easy and light-handed, I am using a stiffer brush. The stiffer brushes, for me, tend to be easier to use because they will diffuse your lines a lot quicker. And I just don't have time a lot of times to sit and blend for hours. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with a little bit smaller of a brush. Let me clean it off here. Oh, I'm already starting with my Butterfingers. Surprise, surprise. So I'm going to go in with the 09, and I'm going to pick up this shade down here called Violet. So far I've just ran down this first row. And I'm going to put Violet in the crease because I really want to start deepening that up now. And I mean really putting some emphasis on the deepness. Oh, that's so pretty. And sometimes I like to start by patting it on and then going back over it and blending it out. Oh, that's just a gorgeous color. So far, I'm highly impressed with the way this palette is working. I know in the past palettes that I've used from Alter Ego, I've had no issues with wear time and longevity as long as you prime your eyes. They always seem to work and last very well. That is so pretty. Start building it up over here in this other eye. So I'm interested to know in what some of your all's plans are for Valentine's Day. I think it's nice for us to share ideas with one another during all of these crazy times and being limited on the things that we can do. What are some of the things that you guys and your special someone are planning on doing for Valentine's Day? Are you just going to be low-key and stay at home and order some food? Or are you going to actually try to go out to eat? And I guess that's going to depend also in the area that you live and those things. Are you just going to skip it altogether? I think I'm going to go in just a little bit more on this one. There we go. Now they look like they're matchy-matchy. Okay, now I think, let me do a swatch here. I want to check out a couple of these shades. Okay. So I think I'm going to go in now with this shade right here called Fuchsia. And I think I'm going to go in with that with my finger. And I'm going to start patting that all over my lid. Oh, that is so pretty. That is so pretty. This feels so soft. That shade does. It's just creamy feeling. Not like a wet shadow, but a creamy powder. It just feels really nice. Okay, and I might... Okay, no, I'm going to stop right there with it. Now I like to take a dense brush, a bigger dense brush like this, and just run along all of my edges so that I can make sure that they are all blended in very well. And then I'm going to take a little purple eyeliner. This is the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liner. And I'm going to put that on my bottom outside lower lash line. Just a little bit. And I do this as a base. My eyes are very watery. And so if you have trouble keeping shadow in place or keeping it on your lower lash line, a eyeliner is always a good idea to lay down as a base, and it will help your eyeshadow stick. So then I'm going to take a pencil brush and I'm going to spread that out. Okay, now I'm going to go in with Violet, this dark purple that we used, and that same pencil brush, and I'm going to go in and start putting that on my lower lash line. Nice. Then I'm going to take this brush in 07. It's just a flat little wispy brush. And I'm going to take that very first pink shade, Peony, that we put down. And I'm going to coat the tip of my brush. And I'm going to knock off the excess, okay? I don't want a whole bunch. And then I'm going to go along the edge of that purple. Just to smoke that out a little bit. That is so nice. Okay. So this is where I am with the eye look right now. So I am going to do this. I'm going to put a color in my lower lash line. So this is the Pastel Dream Auto Liner by LA Girls in the color Lavender. I always like to go in with a lighter eyeliner. Well, not always, but the majority of the time. And my favorite thing to do with a purple eye is to do lavender. And it really opens up your eye, but it makes that purple pop. And you'll see when I come back with my eyes completed how much of a difference that makes. So I'm going to go and finish my makeup off camera, and then I'll come back and show you the finished project. All right. Hey guys, I'm back. So this is the finished look that I got with the Blooms palette from Alter Ego. This is the first look. I'm really enjoying it so far. I love the application. Everything blended well together. The final look came out looking beautiful, as you can see. I did top it a little bit in the center with the Anastasia Beverly Hills iced out highlighter, because that's what I'm wearing today. I put that on the brow bone in the inner corner as well. Sometimes I like to do that if I don't see a shade in the palette that I necessarily want to use. So this is the final look. I hope you guys like it, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the second look, same palette. Have a good day, guys. God bless. Okay, guys, it's only been a few seconds for you, but it's actually been a couple of days for me. I meant to get this second look recorded a few days ago, but I ended up getting a case of pink eye or something. I'm not sure what it was, but my eye was wonky. But anyway, after a doctor's visit, some antibiotic drops, and a few days, I'm back and going to do this second look using the Blooms palette. So, the last time we used the purples in here, and I think today we're going to stick with the pinks and the reds. I really love this palette, so I'm excited to do this. I already have my base makeup done, and I've got my eyes primed, so let's go ahead and jump in to this video. So I am going to start off with the Dew Color brush in 03. And I think I'm going to start laying down this pink color right here, and it is named Peony. I'm sorry if my mirror gets in the way. I've tried to lower the camera a little bit because I've noticed in my videos that I feel like I'm at the bottom of the screen. But I'm so short and everything. It's just, once I get a new camera, I don't think that'll be a problem because I'll be able to zoom in and close up, you know. But right now, just recording on my phone, I've got to maneuver the best I can, so just stick with me. So I'm going to go into the crease with that Peony shade, first patting it down because I didn't set my eye primer this morning. So if I don't set my eye primer, I like to pat my color down first and then blend. I feel that, or I find that it does a smoother transition when I do it that way. Hold on, I don't have one of my lights on here. Ooh, that's bright. Well, there we go. Now I can see what's going on. So I'm just going in with a very light hand and putting that in my crease. I just want a wash of that. I'm going to do the same thing with this eye. Just patting it in. And now I'm going to start blowing it out by blending it. And sometimes I set my eye primer and sometimes I don't. I think it just really depends on how I'm feeling that day and what products it is that I'm using. Today I'm using the Milani eye primer. As for my foundation, I have used the Wander Beauty foundation in New Delusions. I am in shade Light. I really like that foundation. It is a matte foundation, but it goes on so easily, and it just always looks very, very good on my skin. So I really love that foundation. And I'm using, my concealer is Ulta Beauty concealer in Full Coverage Liquid Concealer Waterproof. Light Natural is my color. That is a darker color for me, and I put it on underneath my foundation. And the reason I done that is because I had a few areas that I wanted to conceal. So that's kind of what I do when I need to conceal some areas. So next I'm going to go in with a little bit more denser brush. And it is another Dew Color brush, and it is in 02. And I am going to pick up the color right next to Peony, which is Azalea. And I'm just going to run this in my crease. I'm going to keep it a little bit lower just to start deepening things up and start building up my colors. I am still just so impressed with how this does on the eyes. I mean, the blendability of this palette and the way that the colors last. The other day when I done the purple look, my eye look lasted all day long. It did not fade. I swear it just mimics a high-end eyeshadow palette in the way that it's formulated and it wears and then it's workable. It's just so good. I recommend it. 12 out of 12. Okay, we're getting that red and pink built up. Okay, I think I'm going to start deepening it up some. And I'm going to now go in with my Dew Color brush in 04. And I'm going to pick up, I think I'm going to go in with Snapdragon. And I'm really just going to keep this directly in my crease and just slightly above. I'm not going to blow it all the way out to my brow like I did the other color. I'm just going to start deepening up that crease now. Oh, yeah. These build so lovely. They are blending out on top of one another so effortlessly. It looks so good. So I'm going to take that first brush that we use, and I'm not going to put anything else on it, and I'm just going to kind of work that harsh line of that Snapdragon color. There we go. Then I'm going to take another, yet again, denser brush and slightly a little bit smaller and start working it in the crease some more to deepen it up. Oh yeah. So for this one, I think I'm going to use my AOA Studios E128 brush. And I'm going to go into Lush, which is this one right here. And this one is really going to be concentrated directly in that crease. And on that outer V. I'm going to go about halfway in with that on that lower part of my lid. We're going to go in with yet one more darker color after this. Because when you're wearing a lot of reds or pinks like this, you want to really try to deepen it up in areas, because if you don't, it can wash you out and make you look like you're sick. This color, or this eye look, if you have blue eyes, oh wow, it's going to make those blue eyes pop and look so good. So now I'm going to go back into that very first brush that we used No product on it. I'm not dipping it back in. And I'm just going to work out that harsh line. Okay, now let me find a brush that I am really needing. Okay, so for this, I'm going to go in with this Real Techniques brush, and it's the Instapop crease brush, and it's slanted. I really like that. And I'm going to go in with Black Dahlia right here. And I'm really just going to work this right along that lash line right there. And in that outer corner. But I really want to deepen that up right there. And I'm going to bring it up slightly. And as I'm working out the product off of my brush, I'm going to run it into my crease. Just on the outer half. Now, you see how that kind of changes by bringing that darker color in? It just kind of ties it all out. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Run that up to the crease. And now start bringing it in. I really like that color. And I'm actually going to darken it up just a tad. I like that. So now I'm going to take my flat small kabuki and I'm going to run that all over the eye, not the lid, but the upper lid. And just smooth all this out. And see if there's anything else that I need to add or change. And I don't think so. Okay, now I'm going to go with just my finger and I'm going to pick up this color Lily right here. And that is going to go on the inner part of the lid. And I'm just going to overlap it slightly onto that dark Black Dahlia just a little bit. Then I'm going to take that Instapop brush again and make sure that this is faded into one another. I really like that. So now for that lower lash line, I am going to take a pencil brush and I'm going to pick up that Black Dahlia color and I'm going to start running it from the outer lash line on the lower. So I can connect that on that outer corner. I'm not going to bring that all the way in. I'm just going to bring it about halfway to 3/4 of the way in. Okay. Now I'm going to take just a small little fluffy brush, and this is a pure P70. And I'm going to take a little bit of Lush and Azalea and just dot them back and forth in the pans. And picking at both of those colors. And then I'm just going to buff that on that lower lash line. Do it again for the other eye. I like that. And then I'm going to take that same color, Lily, that I put on my lid. And I'm going to pick this up on a small Luxie 111. It's a mini flat angled brush. And I'm going to put that in my corner and give myself a little pop there. And I'm going to run it up on the brow bone just slightly. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just like last time, I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to finish my makeup, and then I'll come back and show you the final product. Okay, I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, guys, I'm back and I have finished up all my face and put mascara on and all of that good stuff. And this is the finished look using the Blooms palette, the second eye look. I hope you guys enjoy it, or enjoyed it. I really recommend picking up this palette, especially if you've been eyeing the Natasha Denona Loves palette. I had been, and after picking this one up and seeing the quality in this, I don't even think that I will try the $65 palette. I mean, I don't see why I should. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And I have a few other palettes that I'll be doing the same type of video. So let me know if you liked it or didn't like it down below so I can change things up if I need to. And again, thank you guys for being here and supporting my channel. It means so much to me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. All right. Bye, guys. God bless.